Hello beautiful ladies, and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be showing you how to get this July 4th makeup look. So I posted a video last week of outfits that you can wear for July 4th that are cute, classic, and modest, and in that video I asked you guys if you would like to see a July 4th makeup tutorial, and so many of you guys responded that you would, that you were excited about it, that you wanted to see a makeup look. So today I put on this makeup look for you guys, I showed you how to do it, and I'm really excited to see if you guys try it too. So please let me know if you do, tag me on Instagram, tag me on Twitter, whatever it is, I'd love to see. So let's get into it. Okay guys, so I'm going to be starting off with this L'Oreal Paris Infallible Matte Lock Primer. I'm gonna be using a hydrating foundation. I don't usually use hydrating foundations in the summertime, but I just love this foundation so much that I'm fine with it. Sometimes my skin is a little bit dewier in the summer naturally, so I have to use something that is actually a little bit more mattifying. So I figure using a mattifying primer with a hydrating base will kind of like balance out. And so I'm just gonna massage that in. Now, of course, on July 4th, the first step, even before primer, should be sunscreen because it'll probably be very sunny, and if you're with family for a barbecue, you don't want to get a sunburn, especially on your face. So start off with that. I put that on this morning because I went for a walk and all of that fun stuff, so I've had that on for a while, but I haven't had my makeup on yet. So I put on the primer now, and now I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup. So I'm going in with the Maybelline New York Dream Radiant Liquid Foundation, and this is in the shade Fair Ivory. I'm just going to put a little bit of that on the back of my hand, and then I'm going to just take it on a damp sponge and put that all over my skin. So I'm curious to know, what kind of foundation do you use? Do you go full coverage liquid foundation? Are you more comfortable using a powder foundation? What do you usually do? Or do you not wear foundation at all? Because there are some people who have skin that is just great and they really don't need foundation at all. I am not one of those people most of the time. Right now my skin is breaking out. You can see I've got a couple of friends, Tweedledum and Tweedledee up here, and I'm going to cover that up. Also, I have a little bit of discoloration through my skin, so I like to just kind of even out the base. But for a really long time I didn't wear any foundation, and I know that there are a lot of people who don't. So I'm curious if you guys do, let me know. Now I'm just gonna cover up any blemishes. Now of course you can skip this step if you don't have any, and if you don't care, you can just go ahead and skip that. So I'm gonna be using my L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer, and I'm just gonna take this on the back of my hand and then dip into it with a brush and my finger. So I just take kind of a small, fluffy-ish brush, and I just kind of go over the areas that need more coverage, as you can see here. And I'm just kind of patting this out and buffeting it to make it blend into the foundation. Now this is a super full coverage concealer, so you really need so little. Don't go too heavy with it. I generally accidentally do, just because even picking up the littlest bit goes such a long way. So just be careful with how much you use when you're using this concealer, and really make sure to blend it out. And of course, if you feel like it's not blended out as well as you would like it, you can always go back with that damp sponge and just kind of like tap over it with residual foundation. So what are you doing for July 4th this year? I know it's totally different than what we're used to. Some places aren't doing anything for July 4th just because they don't want crowds. Other places probably are, but they're gonna like tell people not to come. I don't really know exactly what we're doing yet, so I can't give you exactly our plan, but I am curious to know if you're planning on staying home, if you're gonna be near family so you can hang out with family for a barbecue, what the plan is. I mean, my thing would be, I always associate July 4th with fireworks. So if I couldn't watch fireworks where I was, I would definitely watch fireworks on the television or on my computer, just so I could have the feeling of July 4th. But I don't want to get too much into that because I am doing a whole video on how to spend the best July 4th ever, and I don't want to spoil any of that on this video. So that was actually pretty quick. Sometimes it can take a little bit of a longer time covering up those blemishes, but using a brush like this and a full coverage concealer can really just do the job really fast. Now I'm gonna do concealer underneath my eyes. I have had, I'm guessing it's allergies, but I have had the largest purple bags under my eyes that I can remember. And I really think it might be allergies because we're living in Nebraska and I don't think I'm used to the pollen here. And so I've been waking up in the morning and I'm like, what is underneath my eyes? This is craziness. But using this thing, this Charlotte Tilbury magic eraser or something like that, I don't know the name exactly, but this thing has been a lifesaver and it really just does the job and conceals those really big under eye bags. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm just gonna take this little damp sponge that's for underneath your eyes. I'm gonna tap out any excess of the concealer that's underneath there. I'm gonna dip into this number 7 powder and I'm just going to set that. And I like doing this because it prevents creasing. Now, my concealer always creases. That's just never not gonna be a thing. I have a lot of little lines under my eyes and they're not really wrinkles, it's just kind of like the way that my eye is constructed. So I have always gotten creases in my concealer, but it helps to set it down. And then I'm just gonna go in with a fluffy brush with this same powder and just set my whole face. Next up, I'm gonna do my eyebrows. I'm just gonna keep it really simple. I'm using a pomade and I'm just gonna fill in any little gaps in my brows that I want to make a little bit thicker or whatnot. You know what's so funny is that I feel like I am one of the only people who buys all of my makeup from the drugstore. Of course, I have a couple of things that aren't drugstore, so you know, the concealer for underneath my eyes, that's not drugstore. But for the most part, I would say 99% of my collection is either drugstore or stuff that is like an influencer that I like and I bought their thing. But so much of my actual makeup that I purchase is from the drugstore, and I just think that they have as great of stuff as like Sephora or Ulta, but it's just so much more affordable. And the nice thing for me is that if I'm gonna run out of something, if I'm gonna use something really quickly, like a mascara or whatever, I don't want something that is so expensive every time I have to replace it. So I prefer getting a mascara that is from the drugstore. So now I'm just setting down my eyebrows with this brow gel, keeping them in place. So now I'm gonna do the rest of my face. I'm going to do just bronzer. I'm not really contouring. So I'm taking a fluffy brush and this bronzer here from Milani, and I am just putting that underneath my cheekbones, down the sides of my nose, just really messily, just to bring some color to the middle of my face. And then around the forehead. This hair keeps getting in the way, but it's fine. Next up, we're popping into some blush. So I'm using this really pink blush from Essence. Tap off that excess here and just putting that on the apples of the cheeks and sweeping it backward. And lastly, I'm just gonna use some highlighter. I'm using just a pretty natural looking highlighter, not something that's really kablamo. I just want a little bit of like a natural glow to the skin. So I'm just putting that on the tops of my cheekbones and down my nose, a little bit on my Cupid's bow. And now I'm gonna zoom you guys in while I do my eyeshadow. Okay guys, so now that we're zoomed in, we're going to do our eyeshadow. So the first thing you wanna do is just make sure that there are no creases in your concealer or in your foundation. And then I'm gonna go in with a skin colored eyeshadow and just set that down. So this is the Milani Gilded Desires palette. I don't know if this still exists, but you can get a lot of different palettes that have a nude color, and there are a few different palettes that have a red as well, so. Now we're gonna keep this look pretty simple. We're not going to go too crazy with it, although we are using some colors that are a little bit out there, but it shouldn't take that long. So the plan is, I'm gonna go in with a neutral brown, so I'm gonna take this color here, and I'm just gonna take that on a fluffy brush and put that all over the lid and in the crease. So really just messily slap that on there. But we want everything to be blended, which is why I recommend using a fluffier brush and not just a flat shader brush, because this just makes everything look more even and fluffy and blended. And we're just putting that all over the lid and in the crease. Now the next thing that we're gonna do is I'm gonna take a smaller fluffy brush and I'm going to go in with this red here and this orange and kind of mix them to get that red color that I want. And I'm gonna tap off the excess and then put that on the outer edge of the eye and into the crease here. And what I'm trying to do, the outer V, is really just blend this out. Now I don't want this all over the lid. I really want it focused on the outer V of my eye and the crease here. And so we're just gently putting this where we want it. And you can see I kind of got a little too heavy-handed here, so I can just take my finger and pat that out. And I'm just going to keep blending. Let me just do the same on the other eye. So just tap between these two shades, tap off the excess, and then go on the outer V and bring it into the crease. And you can see that was actually really fast and easy, and it didn't take much effort at all. Next up, I'm gonna go in with this incredible blue shade, and I'm gonna go in with this little pencil brush, and I'm just gonna tap that in there. Make sure I have enough on the brush, but tap off just so there's not any like loose pieces that'll fall down onto the rest of your makeup. And then I'm gonna go underneath my lash line on the lower part of my eye and blend that out. So see, we're getting the red, and now we're getting the blue. We're just focusing that color right on that lower lash line. We'll do the same thing on the other eye. And to finish off the look, I'm just going to take a little bit of these two shades here. These are shiny highlight shades, and I'm gonna put them right on that inner corner, and I'm gonna pull it up on this part of the eye. If you can see, it's like on this inner corner of the eye, I'm actually pulling it up. I'm gonna do the same thing here. And it just kind of defines and creates this sort of cut crease almost without doing anything. And that is the finished eyeshadow. I mean, that is it. Super easy. You've got the 3 colors right down on the eye. Now there are 2 ways you can go from here. You can either put on a cat eye with some eyeliner, or you can keep it bare. And I think I'm gonna keep my eyeliner bare. I'm just gonna put on some mascara. Now don't forget to put some on your lower lash line. Because you have color on your lower lash line, to make it look even better, put some mascara on those lashes. Now we're just gonna pop on some red lipstick to finish up the look. And don't forget my secret trick to blend out that red lipstick. Taking your finger and just blending it out. And that's the finished look. I really enjoyed putting this together. It has that kind of subtle red, white, and blue thing going on in the eyes. And then of course, if the red lipstick is a little too much for you, you can always bring that down and just wear a nude lipstick or a pink lipstick, something that's a little bit more natural. But this is how you go full July 4th, full patriotic. And it's just a lot of fun to do and really not that difficult. Let me know in the comments if you guys try this look for July 4th. If you're gonna do something that's fun for July 4th makeup, I'd love to know. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Please subscribe to my channel and blog if you haven't already. Head over to my Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook and follow me there. Hit that notification bell to get notified of all my new videos. Hit that like button. Please head over to classicallyabby.locals.com if you'd like to support my channel, see more of this content, and be part of our community. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!